Hello, I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. Today I'm going to take a pause based upon things that I've been hearing from others, even from people that were my friends. So, what is that? I've been hearing people talk about my videos that I've been doing and making personal assumptions. Certain things that people have said was that they think I'm doing this out of revenge, or they think that it's not good for me and my mental health and that I should stop doing it, or I'm going to cause more problems. No, that's based on personal opinion. The reason I'm doing this is because I do enjoy helping others. I am passionate about helping others achieve their goals and have a good life that involves having healthy relationships and having good health. And that includes your mental health. Your overall health is involved with your mental well-being. So, I had stated in the past is that ever since I was a young child, I was very passionate. I used to watch shows that was based upon helping children that were poor, helping anybody. And that was something that I was passionate about doing and helping people. I actually had more volunteer jobs than I had paying jobs, believe it or not. And I actually enjoyed certain ones better than the paying jobs. That happened to be working at the Salvation Army. It was a counseling center for the homeless and helping them. I actually loved that job, and I didn't even get paid. So when people think that I'm just doing this out of revenge or, because it helps me only, absolutely not. So another thing this can compare to as to what I'm doing, let's think about slavery. What would happen if people just watched slavery happen and didn't say anything or do anything? Like I've stated, is that even an onlooker can encourage, engage, and enable abuse to continue. The same thing with slavery. If people didn't do anything, we would still have slavery now. If they just watched it happen and didn't say one word, right? Silenced. That's me. I'm unzipping it because I do want change to happen. I know it won't happen quickly, but I'm not going to be one of those silenced and just sitting here and watching it happen until the day I die. The more people that stay silent, well, they're not going to make any changes. With slavery, it ended because more people, unzipped and weren't silent about it anymore, saying, that's wrong. This needs to stop. The more people that stand up for what is actually right will eventually make changes. So that is exactly what my cause of doing these videos and my teachings, I hope, will eventually make change in the future. So, does it help me? Yeah, I enjoy doing it, like I said, mainly because I love to help other people, and I really do hope to make positive changes. So it does benefit me in that way. I'm not making money off this or anything else. I do it for me. So the next people, that tell me, to stop doing this, or they don't think I should do this, that's their opinion. I don't need it. I'm doing it because I want to do it. Actually, there are quite many others that actually were the ones that asked me to do it because they had read part of the personal story that I had started writing last year, at the end of last year. And they asked me, they said, please keep teaching this, because many of the things that I've been teaching about has happened to them as to where it negatively affect them in very bad ways. So I've had many people ask me to teach about my personal story to help others, and also to teach society as a whole as to what the problems are within our society as a whole. Now, have I ever done this for anybody else besides myself? Oh yeah. It was last year actually, where it was a woman named Jennifer Christie, where she was on a business trip and had gotten raped and had a son from it. Well, guess what happened to her? I never thought it would happen to me, but besides my 3 alcoholics who blamed and also accused me of lying about being sexually assaulted, but this actually happened to another woman who was pretty popular based upon her story and it being public. But Abby Johnson didn't like her being popular, which was ruining her fame. So she ended up spreading lies about Jennifer Christie that she had lied about her rape story and that she was never raped. So I myself, I knew who Jennifer Christie was on Facebook. I wasn't that close to her, but you know what? I wanted to help her. I wanted to fight for her, for what was happening to her. I didn't have that myself. Even with the, 3 alcoholics, I didn't get much support from friends on the outside. And same now. I actually, like I stated, is that I had most of the people that said they were my friends ended up abandoning me afterwards. But then again, hey, I learned who my real friends are in the end. So I did help her. In the video that I'll be showing at the end of this, after this video, after the other slides, is actually from last year when I was trying to help Jennifer Christie and I was trying to make a video. And it was kind of interesting because it was when I was still drugged up on the drugs I never needed, that my abusers had put me on that I never needed. And that was part of the abuse, as I've stated in the past videos, as to what they had done to me in order to keep me under the control, which was I was falsely drugged and falsely misdiagnosed by my 3 alcoholics. So in the video I was still kind of slow. I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing now. My cognitive functioning had started to come back after that because finally a mental health professional, a psychiatrist, had realized I never needed those drugs and got me off them. So it took time for my cognitive ability to come back and my memories and everything else, as I've stated. But even in that video, I felt strongly based upon certain things, as you'll see in the slides. I'm totally against discrimination against special needs. I'm against shaming, blaming, going against victims of any type of abuse. And you'll see that. I only became a member on Facebook at the end of 2013, but you'll see in my posts that it goes way back, even way back from when I first started, is that I've always been felt strongly about discrimination against special needs, rape victims, any sexual assault victims, any type of victims of abuse. And those are the 2 topics that you'll see me turn into a exploding ball of fire. And that's exactly how I felt when it happened to Jennifer Christie. Oh man, I was just so pissed off, and I wanted to fight so hard for her when Abby Johnson had falsely accused her of lying about being raped. I mean, it's not just me that I would do it for. I would do it for anybody. That's just how I am, because I'm passionate about helping others. So just like slavery, if we want change, we can't remain silent. We have to open our mouths. And I'm not going to be one of those people to remain silent and just watch it get worse and worse. And that's how I feel about abuse and the flaws within the mental health field and society as a whole. So yes, I'm going to call it out. Many people aren't going to like it. I was warned about that before I started doing my videos. They're like, you're going to have a lot of backlash of people that don't want to hear it. Just like abusers. They don't want to hear what they're doing wrong. And they definitely don't want it to be shown to others. And that's exactly what I did to them. I showed what they did, and those others seen it. They don't want others to see that they were abusing me. That's exactly what the people in the Boiling Coal clans didn't like either, because they don't want to be shown for what they've been doing. That's right. But I'm not remaining silent. And again, I'm not doing this just for myself. I'm doing this to help teach others to actually see these flaws, and also, hopefully, things will change in the greater future like Paula J. Kaplan wants. And hopefully, my teachings will help others realize just how bad and severe these problems are, as to where they won't be silent and they will speak out and share this truth that I've been teaching about. So, to everybody that didn't understand or made assumptions based upon my purpose, well, most of them would be wrong. I'm not doing this out of revenge or hatred or to cause problems. I'm doing this because I actually want to see change for the better for all, not just myself. So enjoy the next slides. I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. See you next time. Hello. Today, the topic is going to be rape culture, and we're going to talk about trauma and how that affects the situation itself, if that ever happens. Any kind of traumatic event that happens. So let's talk about first what most people do understand and they get. Say you had an accident and you were injured. Do you have it all planned out in your head before that happens? Okay, so if I'm in a car accident, my body's gonna do this, that way I don't feel as much pain. Well, doctors know that, even they know that when we encounter pain or certain things happens, that it's natural that it happens. But can we actually say, while that situation is happening, that yes, my body's gonna respond this way so I don't feel as much pain, I'm gonna pass out, this is gonna happen, and I know it's gonna happen that way. No, because when it happens, your brain knows. it doesn't know what's going to happen because it's natural responses that your body does. But guess what? Those two combine apply to mental health, not just physical. Kind of funny how those two topics go in. I have doctor friends that understand the pain issues a lot more than me, but it's funny how it applies to the mental with traumatic situations. So say somebody decides to come up and attack me. Oh, I know karate. So if somebody comes up to me and they say they end up grabbing me and I end up can't breathe, did that plan of back doing my karate move work in that instance? No. Say they came up behind me, smashed me in the back with a needle, drugged me, and I thought for sure I was gonna go wham, but instead I was like this, can't move because I was drugged up. So that plan, when it happened, didn't work so well because my brain went, those things didn't come to mind right when it was happening. So let's bring it to the incident of the rape. So I went to a person's house and I went inside their house. First thing people are gonna say, did you know them? Why would you go into a stranger's house? Why were you alone? Why did you go into somebody's house alone, all by yourself? Does that really matter? But guess what? I knew who that person was. He went to my high school. Was I alone? No, I had a friend with me. So we went inside and he gave me a drink. And you know what? I didn't know it was alcohol. I didn't know that he put drugs in it. So I never had it. So I didn't know. I was drinking alcohol and I ended up being passed out. Ended up waking up to him being on top of me and still being on drugs. What did I think then? I had to think quick, because what's funny is when, I was all spaced out with drugs, that's kind of how trauma can work too. Even if you're not on drugs, your brain can go into a little fog, and that's just basically naturally how your body reacts to situations of danger, just like it does with pain when you're in an accident and you get injured. Your brain does a little thinking there too for your mental and how it responds to things. So anyways, do I remember everything that happened? No. I mean, the things you remember when things like that are happening, sure. Do I remember if I was alone? Here's my brain thinking. No. I remember there was somebody there with me. So yes, I remember that. Do I know that person who raped me? Yeah. Do I remember that person's name? Yeah, easy. Do I remember what time of day it was exactly? No. Boink. Do I remember if it was during the daytime? Yeah, easy. Because I have to be home before a certain time, and I was a teenager and I had to be home before dark time. So yeah, it was during the day. Was there school that day? No, that's easy to remember because I had a friend over that didn't go to the same school as me, who was visiting me. So, easy. Just like when you go grocery shopping and you usually have a list. Let's say you needed sugar. It's something you don't usually have to buy that often or frequently, and you forgot to put it on the list. You really don't need to put milk on there because usually that's something that you always need, and That's one of the first things you remember when you go shopping. Oh, if your family uses milk a lot, you always remember that milk almost all the time, most of the time, anyways. But you forgot the sugar. You got home, you're like, oh, I'm gonna make some cookies, and you look for the sugar. You usually have a ton of it, and you think, oh, crap, I forgot I needed to get more sugar. Same thing with trauma and the things that go, you didn't remember that sugar. Sometimes it may be in the back of your head and you think in the store, what did I forget? Did I forget something? And you're thinking, oh, but I want to make chocolate chip cookies tonight. What do I need? Oh, that's right, sugar. But that was all the way in the back of your head until you started thinking about that sugar. That's just a chance that you might remember that. Now, do I remember going home and how I, felt or what I was thinking? I kind of remember that, but it kind of went in the back of the brain. Do I remember what happened when I got home? No. So, how do I know what I did when I got home? You know what? The only reason why I know is because another family member told me what happened. I don't remember going home and telling a family member what had happened. I don't remember what they did exactly in the back of my head, remembering exactly what happened. But I was told, and it was, you would think I would remember that, but considering that person didn't believe me, I ended up, that's not something I wanted. My brain wanted to remember. I said, you're out of here. So, how do we promote rape culture when we think those ways? Well, we think when somebody tells us something like that, just like I said, well, why didn't you do this? Why were you alone? Why were you wearing that? What does it make? Why would a person want to even tell you if you're going to question them like that? In our classes, we laugh at the police officers in their field because those are the kind of questions that they ask rape victims. And we were like, that's how you're going to find out what happened, if it actually happened to them or blah, 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 It's like, yeah, so we handle it different in our profession. We don't say, you don't remember what you were wearing? You don't remember what time it was? No, that's not how it works. But that's part of rape culture too. And I really think people should think before they say things. I noticed a friend just last night and how she handled the situation, which really impressed me. Again, the star reward person. I don't have my star, but they get another star, and how they handled it, which really impressed me. And they're really good with words. And that was the only person I seen that handled the situation in the best manner. So, again, my point is, you should really think about those things that you say to those people when they come to you with a traumatic event that happened to them, and really try to understand why they didn't do this, why didn't they do that, and that. It's not about that. Because even if you went through it yourself in the past and you did this, this, and this, does that mean that person is going to think the same thing when your mind is out there and do the same exact thing? Will you do the same exact thing the next time it happens? Doink, doink, doink? No. That's not how your brain works. So think about that.